2 months ago, I made one of the toughest decisions that I've had to make in a while, and that's to quit my 9 to 5 job. So, why did I do it? Well, the truth is that over the last couple of years, I've probably been feeling a little bit of lack of fulfillment. And like most people, for the last 37 years, I've got up and I've done what is expected. I've got up, I've gone to work, and I brought home a regular paycheck and all of that normal stuff. And even though most of my adult life, the majority of my adult life, I've worked for myself, this last 10 years, I've been working for a business in Gibraltar, and I kind of felt that they had more control over my life than I did. And that all came to fruition on the 28th of May this year, because on the 28th of May this year, I was told that my position was no more. I was being made redundant. And that just really hammered home that I wasn't in control of my life anymore. Now, even though that position that I'd been in with the business for 6 years was being made redundant, I was offered redeployment. And as a knee-jerk reaction, I accepted that redeployment. However, the night before I was due to start, I realised that I really didn't want it anymore. I wanted something different. I wanted to build something new for myself and my family. And I found that was the perfect opportunity. It was the push I needed. Now, recently, my wife and I have bought a property in this beautiful village here in rural Andalusia. And with that 9 to 5, it just wouldn't give me the time to really manage this project and to get involved in it. So that's the reason I quit my job. Now, if you follow the channel, you may have seen this vlog. Now, this was an introduction vlog into the reason why we'd bought a house in a rural village in Andalusia. And during that vlog, especially if you've watched it, you'll know that myself and my wife, we hated what we bought. We didn't like the location, we didn't like the house, we just didn't feel at home. Well, I'm pleased to say 2 months on, time certainly is a healer, because we've changed. We've got a lot more positiveness about not just the village, but about the property as well. Now, I'm not saying for 1 second this will be our forever home, because it won't. But I'm now ready to embrace the challenge of getting this house done. Anyway, let's jump on the scooter and I'll take you up the road and you can see the village from the distance and see why we initially fell in love with this place. So 2 months in, how do I feel? Well, let's start with the positives. First of all, I'm not waking up with that knot in my stomach that I've got to go and do something that I don't really want to do in my time. As I said, we're feeling a lot more positive about this house, and every little step we complete, whether it's just getting a final quote from someone and giving them the go ahead to start part of the project, feels like a win. And now for some of the negatives. Some of the negatives are putting a project together in a rural village in Andalusia isn't easy. It takes time. And even though I've had 20 years in this country and I speak Spanish, I've forgotten just how slow things can move up in some of these whitewashed villages, like the one behind me where we've bought. Also, as well, you do occasionally over the last 2 months wake up and think, what have I done? Have I done the right thing? There's also the financial worries as well, because yes, even though I receive redundancy pay and yes, I have savings, you still wonder what the future holds. But I think that's part of the beauty as well, is the unknown. Still, the freedom outweighs the fear. And I'd certainly take this kind of stress over building something meaningful, over the stress of doing a 9 to 5 job for a company where you're just a number. So, what I've learned so far is that making a big change is scary, but staying stuck in the same place, for me at least, is even scarier. Now, looking back, being made redundant was actually a gift. It forced me to confront what I really wanted, and it gave me that push I needed to start this chapter of my life. Now, I understand quitting a job and walking away from a regular paycheck isn't for everyone. For you, it might simply be moving somewhere new or starting a side project or even just learning a new skill. But the point of it is, it's never too late to start over. As we get older, we don't have to just settle. We can choose to write a new chapter. So that's where I am 2 months on after quitting my job. Zero regrets, just lots of learning, new challenges, and of course, excitement about what's to come. Now, over the past 2 months, my wife and I have started to see this house and this village in a whole new light. We didn't have the best of starts when we bought this house. The first night we had a major cockroach infestation. A couple of days after that, my car was vandalised right outside the house. But we're slowly beginning to embrace the pace, the lifestyle, and the community in this village. And it no longer feels just like a project. Little by little, it's starting to feel like home. Now, we're still approximately 1 month away before we have the main work in the house started. The contractors can't come in before then. There's the licensing to sort out, which I've got to sort next week. Materials have got to be ordered. So there's a lot to do. But the good news is, considering that we've still got very hot weather here, even though it's mid-September here in Andalusia, we're still getting 32, 33, even 34 degrees. So we've actually had aircon fitted. It's the first job that's been done in the house, and it's been a blessing. So I'll quickly put up a little bit of B-roll of that for you, just so you can see how that fitting went. So there we go. The aircon's now fitted. It's took the guys around 4.5 hours because it's not an easy installation in this house because of the thickness of the walls. The walls are around a metre thick in certain areas where they had to drill through. So I understand why it took 4.5 hours, but the machine is fitted and we're over the moon with it. Obviously we've tested it and it's brought the temperatures down in this room immediately. It really did. Within 5 minutes, the temperature in this room went from 38 degrees down to 20 degrees. So absolutely over the moon with it. So that's the first part of the renovation done. Now, if you're thinking about taking your own leap, writing your own second chapter, I hope this story inspires you to at least consider it. Now, if you'd like to follow along and watch the changes that happen to this house as we make them, then don't forget to subscribe. It's absolutely free to do. It doesn't cost a penny. Also, remember to hit that notification button. That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. Lastly, please remember to give the video a like and drop me a comment. I reply to all comments and I really enjoy reading them. Anyway, enjoy whatever you're doing for the rest of the day and I'll get back to you again soon.